Today, we are moving to Chapter 18 and talking about customer service. Customer service is considered a given in retail today, but we're going to think about what customer service really means for customers and for the retailer. And so not just what it means, but how can we give that meaning value? So let's first define what customer service is. Customer service is a set of activities and programs undertaken by retailers to make the shopping experience more rewarding for the customers. So customer service isn't just your employees interacting with your customers. It's an entire set of activities and programs that are planned and that are executed in a retail setting. So these activities, again, increase the value that customers receive from the merchandise and services that they purchase. So we look back to that value that we talked about in Chapter 14, and this is how we create those perceived benefits for our customers. So there are two customer service approaches that we're going to talk about today. And when you develop a sustainable competitive advantage through customer service, you have to work to provide a combination of these two customer service approaches. We'll see a lot of times that retailers tend to lean one direction or the other, but they usually have to have a combination of both approaches in the workplace. So let's talk about personalized customer service. Personalized service requires that the service provider tailor their services to meet each customer's personal needs. Now, this provides much greater benefits to the customers because you're treating each customer individually and offering them a unique, personalized service experience in the store. There's a greater inconsistency both for the customer and coming from the employee because you're training your employees to really individualize that service and cater to each individual customer. And so different employees cater to different customers in different ways. Personalized service can be very costly, and this is due to the fact that you have to train your employees, and you have to usually have your computer system set up really to offer this personalized level of service. Now, the second type of customer service approach is a standardized approach. And a standardized service is based on this established set of rules and procedures. And this set of rules and procedures really guides how to provide service, and it ensures that services are implemented consistently at the retail store. So it is a lower cost. Retailers might choose to go the standardized route just to avoid spending the money to train their employees on personalized service. And it might be because they want to make sure that service is consistent for every customer from every employee in every situation. A lot of times, standardized service is set up to really meet the needs of customers, but definitely to not to go above and beyond or try to exceed any expectation from a service perspective. Kind of some differences between the standardized service and personalized service. Do you have signage to direct your employees through the store, or do you have employees in the aisles to guide customers to merchandise? So if you have your employees in the aisles, that's a form of personalized service. If you use signage to direct customers, that would be standardized service. Another difference between standardized and personalized, if you have standardized service, you might have a self-scan pricing machine set up in your store so that customers can scan and figure out a price. In a more personalized service experience, you might have an employee who carries a scanner who can double check a price for you. So you're actually having more of that personalized interaction service experience. So standardized service usually follows a very specific policy book, whereas personalized, the employees have a bit more freedom to judge the individual scenario and make calls on how to provide a level of service. So those are the two approaches that retailers try to take. And like I said, it's generally a combination of the two, but I'm sure you can think of retailers who offer personalized service and retailers who offer standardized service. So I'd love to see that pop up in some of our discussions for this chapter. What types of retailers, or what retailers specifically, offer different types of service approaches. We're going to next talk about how customers evaluate service quality. When customers evaluate quality, they compare their own perceptions of the service they receive with their own expectations. And because services are intangible and customer service is intangible, it's very difficult for customers to evaluate the service that they're offered accurately. But a lot of studies have been done on this, and you know, we talked. Retailers and retail analysts have studied quite a bit to look and see, how do customers evaluate customer service? Like, how do they evaluate the service they're receiving from a retailer? And what researchers have found is that there are really 5 kind of characteristics that affect how customers perceive service quality. And we're going to talk about each of these five characteristics today, and these are all cues that customers use to assess service. So these are all areas where retailers try to work to improve their service levels. And the first is reliability. And customers evaluate retailers based on reliability, or rather the ability of the retailer to perform a service dependably and accurately. This is really the retailer performing the service as promised, or meeting the promised delivery dates. If you have signs in your stores, or you have customer policies set up, customers want to know that you are going to meet those, and you're going to do it dependably and accurately. Assurance is the second cue, and what assurance is, it's the knowledge and courtesy of employees and their ability to really convey trust and confidence. And so assurance is a bit more important in some retailers than others, as are all of these cues. You need different levels of each of these qualities and characteristics in each individual retail setting. But think about an apparel store, maybe a high-end women's apparel store, and a customer is shopping by themselves and is trying on clothes in a fitting room. Well, if the customer comes out and looks in a mirror, and maybe they turn and they ask the sales associate, well, how do you think I look? If the sales associate in the retail store says, wow, you look great, that's awesome, you should purchase 4 of those. Well, that's not necessarily assurance to the customer. But if the employee were to say, well, I think that looks good, but let me show you something else that I think would look better, right? That's quality assurance. That's assurance, and that's courtesy and the ability to convey trust and confidence in the product. And so assurance could also come in the form of a customer asking about varieties of digital cameras, and the employee's ability to really talk about their knowledge of the product and convey a sense of trust and confidence in the customer that they know what they're talking about and can help the customer select the best product for them. Tangibility. Now, tangibility is a cue that customers use to judge customer service, and not necessarily customer service specifically in talking to a employee, but tangibility really refers to the appearances of the physical facilities, so the actual store itself. What's the appearance of the equipment that the store is using? What are the appearance of the personnel? What's the appearance of their communication materials? So these are all things that the customer can see, touch, and feel. So a customer wants to see that your store is clean. They want to see that the bathrooms are clean, that the soap is full, the paper towels are full. They want to make sure that your employees are dressed well, that your employees smell well. You know, there is a look and feel. There's a vibe that you can get from your employees, and so making sure that that is taken care of is important and can really help customers judge the level of service they receive. Another thing here would be, do your fitting rooms have the proper lighting? That is a tangibility area that retailers can work on. So the fourth cue is empathy. And empathy refers to the caring, individualized attention provided to the customers. And again, in some retail settings, customers expect more empathy than in other retail settings. But this is where your sales associates come into play. Customers can tell when sales associates care about their job and when sales associates are there for the paycheck. So empathy comes in from knowing your sales associates enjoy helping others. And examples of this are sales associates who call their customers and let them know about new shipments, or sales associates who send thank you cards for large purchases, or sales associates who get to know the customer either by face or by name when they come in the store. So it's really that individualized sense of caring and connection between the customer and the sales associates in your stores. And the last cue that customers use to assess service is responsiveness. So customers expect to be provided service promptly. Customers don't want to have to go looking for a sales associate when they check out. If you've ever been to a retail store and you've been at the checkout counter and you've had to wait for someone to come assist you, that is not responsiveness. This actually happened in a retail store I was at. I guess last weekend, where I was at the sales counter and I had 3 items and I was trying to check out and there was no sales associate to be found, and I had to walk the loop of the store, and then I had to go almost into the back room of the store before I could find an employee to check me out, and that is not responsiveness. So that is a cue that I use to assess the service of that location, and of course assessed it poorly. So those are the 5 cues: reliability, assurance, tangibility, empathy, and responsiveness. And customers use these to judge individual retailers and their service. And they do compare retailers to each other. Now, with all this being said, perceptions of customer service are based on an individual customer's knowledge and past experiences. We can't make everyone happy, and it's very hard to correct an individual misconception, but retailers do their best to try to provide the appropriate level of service for their customers. So I want you to think about which retailers are known for their customer service, and what retailers do you think offer the best customer service? Your book has a list early in chapter 18. It's the top 10 retailers for customer service, and it's dated 2011. So something you might think about looking at in your spare time. Can you find an updated list? And do the companies on the list, do you think they deserve to be on the list, and why or why not? Tell me about retailers who you think deserve to be on a list for best customer service.